Today we're making something truly magical. These are black bean brownies, and they're so rich and chocolate and indulgent that I think you'll forget that there's actually beans in them. That's what I love about any dessert, especially, if you're making something healthy like black bean brownies, to have them also turn out to be, delicious and just like as if you're eating any regular brownie. That is the goal. And that's what we've achieved here with this recipe. And I'm so excited to share it with you. And plus, it's made with only 6 ingredients. So I'm so excited. Let's just dive right into how we make it. I'm going to set this aside. So, of course, that starts with black beans. I have a can of black beans here, and what I like to do is just drain it. I don't rinse it out or anything like that. I don't go to any extra measures because if there's a little bit of liquid in the can, that's okay because um, it's going to add just a little bit more moisture to the recipe, and that's fine. So you can see here what I've done is just drained these, and that's all you need to do. But I am going to grab my so we have a little bit of a problem here in that I have my food processor, but I don't have my blade. So I don't know. That's a great question. Sean just asked me, where is the blade? Oh, there, I see it. Yeah, it's right behind the sink. All the details that we cover before we get started, and that one I forgot. There's always something. Okay, so we've got black beans here. Like I say, this is just one 15-ounce can, and this is going to go straight into the food processor. This one's kind of, it's always good to have a spatula around when you're baking because there's some ingredients that don't like to cooperate. So we'll just get all those black beans out of the can into the blender. And then to that, I'm going to add, I've got a half cup of coconut oil. I just use regular coconut oil. I love the flavor of coconut, but if you kind of prefer less coconut flavor, you can definitely use a refined coconut oil to get you a more neutral flavor, and that's fine. And I've got 4 tablespoons of water here that I'm going to pour right in here. And then we're going to just give that a blend. The goal is to mostly make the beans creamy. That's just fine. You're going to have some texture in from the beans, and that's great. That's no problem at all. Okay, to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. Let's give that a stir. I love this part because you can see the gloss that the sugar adds. I'm always scraping down the sides of the food processor between additions. That's just what I like to do. Next comes chocolate chips. So I got 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips here. These are going to go right in there. This is going to get a little loud because, chocolate chips don't give way easily. I like to leave a little bit of texture of the chocolate chips. That way, you don't have to grind them down to, no texture. Leaving a little bit of the chocolate chip texture is nice because then that means you get little bites of chocolate chips throughout, which I love. Now, to make sure these are extra chocolatey, I'm going to add a quarter cup of cocoa powder. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. This adds a little bit of nutrients, and it also helps with, keeping the brownies cohesive. They give them some texture. And this is a half cup of all-purpose flour. That's it. Less than 10 ingredients. You got to love that about any brownie, I think. Here we go. I'm sure you know this already, but I'll reiterate it that anytime that you're working with flour, once you've added it to the food processor, you only want to process minimally after that, because the flour's gluten will overdevelop if you process it too much. So just a couple of quick bursts just to kind of get everything combined. No, we're good to go. Look at that beautiful batter. Can you see that? Oh man, I'm telling you, it smells so good. Mm. We've been smelling these. I've already made a batch, obviously, and we've been smelling these all day long. Don't you think the house smells really good, honey? Yeah, the house smells so good that it makes you want brownies. So that's it. This is the brownie dough, and it is, or the batter, and it is going to go into. This is an 8-inch square pan. You could totally get by with a 9-inch square pan. I just like the brownies to have a little bit more height to them, so 8-inch is a great way to go with that. And like I say, I love having a spatula around anytime I'm doing a baking project because it helps you get all the ingredients out. And I'm sure I've shared this trick with you before too, but there is a hole at the bottom of your food processor. And if you put your finger in there, that's how you can hold the blade without it collapsing into the pan. It's a really handy thing to know about. Can't tell you how many times I've had this blade just drop right in. If you wanted to make these gluten-free, you absolutely could do that. Just use, you can tell they don't have a lot of flour in them anyway, which is standard for most brownies anyway. But you can just use a gluten-free flour that's blended for baking. And when I say blended for baking, that usually means they have other ingredients like starch and things like that in them that makes them, pretty much act like all-purpose flour for baking. Okay, now what I like to do is spread this around the pan so that it's nice and even. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and that way these brownies are ready to go in the oven and bake for about 40 minutes. I've tried baking them longer, but I think they get drier. So I like to have my brownies pretty moist. So baking around 40 minutes with this recipe is just the way to go. So this is going to go in the oven, and it's going to bake for 40 minutes. There we go. So some other questions that you might have would be like, what kind of add-ins could you include? So for example, I love adding some walnuts from time to time, chopped walnuts or chopped pecans. Just amazing. Sometimes I will actually add a little chocolate drizzle on top. You can actually just top it with chocolate chips right when it comes out of the oven, and those will just create a nice little coating on top. That's another thing is, in addition to the chocolate chips are part of the batter, you can just add some chocolate chips to the dough or the batter as it's, before you bake it, and that way it comes out of the oven with this delightful bits of chocolate chips throughout. I mean, nobody's going to complain about that. But yes, another thing I have are some vegan marshmallows. Sometimes I like to add those, make them kind of give it a Rocky Road vibe. It's so good. Yes. So you can just see there's so many different ways that you can make this recipe and make it your own. But I love that it comes together in just minutes. So when you have people coming over, oh man, this is just a great thing that you could just like throw in the oven, and then they get here and voila, we have fresh brownies to serve. So it's really nice. It's super easy. And it's a great thing to pack in school lunches because it's on the healthy side. I mean, the beautiful thing about beans is that they add fiber and protein. So these brownies aren't, I wouldn't necessarily call them health food, but they are a healthy version of a dessert bar that is just one of my favorites. So I have just been torturing myself smelling these brownies, and I am so ready for a bite. So I'm going to go into this one. Let's just give that a try. Look at that. That looks so good. It just says, I need to take a bite of this. Mmm. So good. Mmm. Rich, chocolatey. I get the little bits of chocolate chip throughout. Mm, that is just delicious. Fudgy, definitely just so, um, I don't know, like I would say this is like a really, like just, it's just delightful. It's just so good. I just love it. Yeah. I They do freeze well. Yes, that's a great question. So what I love is I can make a double batch of these like I did today, and then half of them can go in the freezer. And what I love is then we can have impromptu desserts, and they taste just as good reheated. So that's what I love. I don't taste bean at all, just so you know. I just want you to know that you may be skeptical, like how in the world am I going to make brownies with beans? That's just, I'm sorry, but the old me would have said that's just really gross. But the new me is like convinced that this is the only way to go. Finding ways to add beans and healthy things inside of my desserts, it's just a favorite because I just find that having a little bit of fiber and protein packed in with a dessert makes it so much easier on your body to digest it, and just on, it just doesn't impact your blood sugars as much. So I love that. That's really kind of a goal of mine these days. So I love this recipe. I would love to hear from you. What add-ins are you going to add when you make this recipe? Leave a comment. Let me know which is your favorite. Is it walnuts? Is it marshmallows? Is it, whatever? Is it more chocolate chips? Just like I said, coconut, whatever comes to mind. I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment because I love reading your comments and seeing your thoughts on a recipe. And if you try it, let me know about it too. I would love to hear from you. So speaking of love, if you love today's recipe, I mean, I'm just so thrilled that you joined me here in the kitchen today. And I would love it if you gave this recipe a thumbs up and subscribe for more recipes coming your way every week.